Welcome back to another episode of TC with Lily. My name is Lily, your host and resident care coordinator, and we are here to learn and grow together. This is a day in the life of a real estate transaction coordinator, entrepreneur, solopreneur, beehive member, podcaster, host, mentor, educator, your friend, your homie, all of the above. And in this episode, I am discussing 7 lessons I learned after quitting my 9 to 5. If you don't know, I am currently in my 5th year. I just celebrated 5 years of I quit. Yeah, I said I quit to my 9 to 5, to the BS, to letting people holding me back, to all of that 5 years ago, February 27th, 2018. I did a whole podcast on it. If you haven't already, go check out my podcast, transactioncarepodcast.com. There's only a few episodes on there right now. Catch it while it's early, but I'm having a lot of fun doing that. And I did a whole entire episode discussing just 5 years of I quit and what has happened since then. And similar to that conversation, this episode is also going to be diving into just 7 lessons that have helped me throughout my business and what I'm doing, what I'm learning, where I'm at today, my struggles, my wins, how I'm doing, all of that. So let's get straight into it. And before we do, merch. If you want to see the back of this, check it out. Like what you see? Head to tccarepackage.com and buy yours right now. On sale, tccarepackage.com. Thank you. After quitting my job, I thought, oh, this is cool. Working from home. I could wake up whenever I want. I could wear whatever I want. I could do whatever I want. Yes and no. It's great. But over time, I started to lose grip of who I was, who I am, trying to shake off that 9 to 5 programming and create this new thought process for myself. And what is it that I am good at? What am I bad at? How do I manage all of this? And after a while, I realized I couldn't do it alone. I just happened to log into Facebook one day and people were talking about coaches within this transaction coordinator group that I belong to. What possessed me to click on the referral link to the person on there, something came over me. I just said yes to the opportunity. I was like, what's the worst that could happen? I know nothing about this world. At that point, I had never worked with a coach. I didn't have any mentors. And I ended up being partnered with one of the coaches with this company that I found on Facebook. And we've been working together for almost 3 years now. I would say, 2 years straight. And it's one of the best decisions I've ever made for myself, not just on a business level, but absolutely on a personal level, because it keeps me accountable. You need that accountability when you're working by yourself, and you need time to process what you're experiencing and what you have experienced, as well as the tools to improve your life and enhance and develop the skills that you already possess. So having a coach in place, it could be a coach, a therapist, a mentor, just someone in your business and on your team, on your side, that is going to not just cheer you on, but guide you in the right direction. And having a coach just really provides me that accountability that I lack, and that self-discipline that I'm working on improving each and every day. Knowing yourself is also a key lesson that I learned throughout this whole process. And a lot of that was uncovered through working with my coach one-on-one, as well as joining a business community of like-minded people, solopreneurs out here getting in our own ways. And knowing myself and trusting my intuition has been a key lesson in this entire process. It's what I would listen to when I was leading up to quitting my job. It was what I leaned on in those tough moments. Like, if I don't know if I could do this, I don't know what I'm going to do. But I knew deep down in my soul what I was feeling. Often our mind plays tricks on us. Our thoughts play tricks on us to make us feel like, oh, this could be a mistake. I'm so scared. It could just turn itself into avoidance and again, self-sabotage. And really, it was just me realizing that I need to be investing in my time and my energy. Redefining, reprogramming, redirecting all of what I used to know and replacing it with what I do know that is going to improve and reflect me and bring out the best in me. So knowing myself throughout this process has been so important, because if you have respect for yourself and you have goals in mind that you want to accomplish, ultimately it's up to you to get those things done. And if you don't respect yourself throughout that process, it's going to be hard to achieve and get to those next levels. So taking the time each day to get to know myself is a game changer, ultimately. One of the best ways I've taken the time out to get to know myself, aside from hiring a coach and joining business communities and networks, is having morning routines and rituals. What do I mean by this and why? So I was very much wake up when I want, wear whatever I want, do whatever I feel like when I feel like it. And that, unfortunately, on top of not having boundaries in my work and not being able to say no because I was scared if I said no to anything, I would lose it all, ultimately pushed me into burnout. And having a morning routine and creating a morning rituals for myself that not just kept me grounded in the morning, but energized me. And it gave me that space and time throughout the day. There's 24 hours in the day. If I'm sleeping for about 8 of them, 16 of those hours could potentially be all chaos. So if I allow myself at least 1 hour throughout this entire day to be still, to do activities that I enjoy, that bring me joy and allow me to have fun, that get me moving actively, physically, getting my heart rate going and energizing me, things that are unrelated to work, and just being still. I incorporated prayer, meditation, silence, journaling, reading. And one of my favorite hobbies that I love to do that has nothing to do with business, that has nothing to do with me trying to monetize it. I mean, if Wilson or the NBA or the WNBA want to sponsor me, bring it on. But I love playing basketball. I'm going to insert a clip of me playing basketball here. I do it as often as possible. I love playing in the morning when the park's empty. But any chance I get, as long as the weather permits and I have the time and the space to do it, I'm at the park. I'm doing activities around basketball, because when I think about the word working out or when I think about going to the gym, I get discouraged. There's a lot of resistance. So I realized, okay, well, instead of saying, let me go work out, goes back again to that reprogramming, redefining, redirecting. I said, I love playing outside. That childlike nature still exists within me, and I want to nurture her and I want to acknowledge her and allow her to shine. So for me, I replaced working out with playing outside. And for me, my morning ritual is playing basketball, journaling, reading, praying, meditation, stillness. Ultimately, just being still and allowing myself at least 1 hour. It could be longer, it could be shorter, whatever works for your schedule. But in the first 5 years, I feel like my days are best when I have those rituals going and they're in place and I don't ever skip them. The days I do skip them, I feel off, something's not right, I feel misaligned, and it just keeps me in check with myself and in tune with myself and just grounded and feeling like that foundation I've built for myself is strong and sturdy. So what are your morning routines and rituals? Do you have any? Bonus, having a nighttime ritual. It could be your nighttime ritual. It doesn't have to be in the morning, it could be afternoon, whatever fits in your schedule. But what I find what's best for me is taking at least 30 minutes throughout my day in the evenings to plan out my next day, or at least one time a week where I'm scheduling the rest of my week. Because if you're anything like me, when I don't plan out my time, actually, let's get into it in the next clip. Time management, time blocking. this is one of the greatest lessons I've learned, and something I'm still working on mastering, maybe not perfecting, but at least being better at, more so than I am bad at, right? Time management. I've had planners, I've had digital planners, I have online calendars, I have apps, I have notes. I've tried everything. And what I found, what works best for me, and I just realized this, is only planning out the next couple of weeks. For years, definitely in the last 5 years of me running a business, running my life, I've overwhelmed myself to the point where discouragement, overwhelmed. I was so overwhelmed that I did nothing because I kept trying to plan out the next month, the next year, and all of that is out of our control. It's like what I do today will impact tomorrow. So why am I so focused and putting so much energy into the future when none of that is, one, guaranteed, but two, it's out of my control? What can I control today? What do I have the power to do and take action now? And realizing that, okay, well, if I only plan out the next week or 2 weeks, that doesn't feel as heavy versus when I was trying to plan the whole month and I was trying to just pack in all these things every day, it was just like boom, 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 boom. And I wasn't getting anything done. When I realized, okay, if I focus on, I know my long-term goals. I absolutely know, like in the next year, in the next 2 years, in the next 5-10 years, this is where I would love to see the direction in which my life goes. These are the people I want to be with. These are the people these are the places I want to live or own or invest. These are the activities I want to participate in. These are the goals and dreams that I have, right? But none of that can even come close to happening unless I do things today, right? So once I realized that I didn't have to plan out the next year, day by day, minute by minute, and only focus on, as far out as maybe the next 6 weeks, and just honing in on, all right, what are the major priorities for the next day, 1 to 7 days? All right, boom, done. On to the next week. What are the priorities for the next day, the next 7 to 14 days? Boom, done. And you progress as much and as necessary as possible, but this is mostly just to build up my reps, to build up the momentum, to build up my tolerance for time management and time blocking. I may stick to this forever. I may improve and be able to plan out a month from today, whatever the case may be. For me today, after quitting my job, time management has been the biggest and best friend I could ever have, to have that productive part of my life flowing in action. And that could just mean you incorporating naps into your day, rest, chilling out, being with friends. All of that is important. And I'm not just talking about productivity with, updating. I have to update my calendar. I have to audit files. I have to prospect. I have to do all this stuff. It's finding that mix of, work and personal and meshing it together. So time management, time blocking, it's important. Find what works for you. You're going to, experiment, try different things. I tried every app, every planner, physical paper, blank pages, pre-planned pages, all of it. And I just find what works best for me is to have a sheet of paper where I write out, all right, these are the major goals I want to accomplish in the next 6 weeks. What do I need to do from day 1 to day 7? All right, no, day 7 to 14, 14 to 21, on and on and on and on. From there, it works for me. And then I just add each day. I take from that list, add it to my calendar as a task. And because I love a check mark, I love the sound of the clink, 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 that complete sound. And then I move on, remove it, delete it. It's out of sight, out of mind. It's done. Next, this is where I lacked very much so in the beginning, is exploring and staying curious, learning new skills to enhance my craft, meeting new people, building community. It's all so important, right? maybe get a part-time or full-time job within your field to enhance your skills and also invest back in the business, especially if things are slower. And then that way it could also supplement your income, and there's less stress on you and less burden to try and figuring it all out with what you have. Like, there's plenty of options. And I'm talking to myself too. I have to get more humble and realize, like, okay, there may be times where I have to step outside of my comfort zone and possibly get a job or reach out to other people and say, hey, do you need any work done on the back end? Can I help you with the paperwork? Can I help you take signs to open houses? Whatever the case may be, you know, whatever field you choose to work in, explore other ways to keep yourself busy, to learn, you know, go back to school, take courses, educate yourself. Just be curious is all I'm saying, because I definitely was so focused with my head down in the very beginning, in the first couple of years, that I was just doing work just to get things off of my to-do list. I wasn't doing anything with full intention or purpose to please myself or to bring joy to myself. I mean, I wasn't miserable, not at all. And I'm thankful for those first few years, and I'm thankful to have known what it's like to, you know, work that hard and what it takes. And now I'm just in a softer place where I want to be more graceful to myself, be more kind to myself, and listen to my intuition and listen to God and the universe and what messages and the direction I need to go, and really just focus on what I know deep down is my purpose. At some point, I looked up and was like, there has to be more to life than just pushing papers. So I created a YouTube channel. I have a podcast. I'm selling merch. I'm venturing into the coaching, mentoring space. I'm looking at getting licensed in other states. I'm exploring. I'm trying. And it's scary, especially when you know there's no income coming from these outlets at the moment. I don't believe it won't ever generate income or leads or community or opportunities. But in the very beginning phases of you exploring new things, and sometimes we ignore those explorations because we think it has to be attached to money. I say, if there's something you're passionate about or interested in doing, try it out. Try it out. So along the way, as you're exploring, you're changing, you're growing. You may not be the same person you were when you said, I quit, or I'm going to start a whole new career, or I'm going to go back to school. You have changed. So it's important to update your why, your intentions, your goals, your dreams, your vision boards, your SWOT analysis, your assessments. All of that needs to be updated, and check in with yourself in these things as often as needed. I recommend every 6 months to a year, because so much can happen in such a short amount of time that we may not realize, like, oh, I'm actually where I said I needed to be in a year, 3 months early. How do I feel? How do I want to proceed? What do I want to do next? Is there anything I can improve on? What is distracting me? What is holding me back? Where do I feel insecure? Where am I winning? Where am I succeeding? How can I do more of that, right? What is giving me more fulfillment? What is bringing me joy? That's a good time to, updating all of these things is a good time for you to reflect and go back and continue to explore and get to know yourself and work on your time management, because now you can look back and say, okay, I invested too much time here. I enjoy doing this, so where can I incorporate more of this into my time blocking? I want to do more playing outside. I want to do more speaking engagements. I want to do more vlogging, right? Okay, I've made X amount of money. Can I afford to outsource any of these tasks so I can make more room and more time to do the things I enjoy? So it's important to check in with yourself. And if you do work with a coach, you can work with this person to use that time to reflect and say, okay, this is what I've been going through in the last few months, and this is how I'm feeling. I want to plan out what I'm going to do next and update everything that I've been working on and take it to the next level. And give yourself the space to acknowledge your progress, improving in the areas that you're lacking, and just move forward. Which brings me to my final and last lesson, which is the best of them all, which is why I saved it for last. Celebrate your wins. I will always tell people to celebrate their wins, big or small, today, tomorrow, yesterday, 10 years from now. Celebrate your wins. Life moves so quickly, and there are so many minutes of the day that go towards other people and listening to other people speak, ingesting information and scrolling on the internet and absorbing all of these different emotions, or we're often celebrating others and ignoring ourselves. Celebrate your wins. As you're watching this, if you've watched it and made it this far in the episode, I want you to comment right now one win that you are willing to celebrate publicly, openly. Let's talk about it. Oftentimes, if I feel like, okay, there's nothing I can celebrate for my business, but what can I celebrate for me personally? I can see, I'm breathing. I love my hair. I love my skin. I love my merch, tccarepackage.com. I love my laugh. Those are all wins. That's a win. I'm grateful that I can take the steps and walk towards, opportunities, and I have internet. I have the resources to pay for my internet. I have good reception. I'm grateful for the books I'm reading that's helping me to learn about accounting or editing or food, whatever the case may be. I'm grateful for food. Wins are really just gratitude and just being grateful in the moment that you've achieved something grand or that you've made it this far. If you're not sure what to celebrate, just take a moment to inhale and exhale and breathe and think about, wow, I've really come so far from that teenager I was when I was sitting at home insecure, or that 25-year-old, partying her life away, not really sure what direction or what she was going to do with the rest of her life. Or, wow, I'm about to be 39. There's so many wins that I've accomplished that I maybe didn't give myself the time or energy to celebrate at the time. So I'm going to celebrate that today. I remember buying my first car. Who says I can't celebrate that 20 years later? There's so much to celebrate. That's all I'm saying. Is just always be celebrating. It's okay. Creating more space for joy is what we need. Enjoy the process, have fun, and just continue to celebrate. It's that simple. My name is Lily, like the flower. This is another episode of TC with Lily, day in the life of real estate transaction coordinator, entrepreneur, Beehive member, podcaster, reader, mentor, coach, helper, friend, all of the above, full-time auntie. I'm here to support you. Let me know how I can support you in your journey, in your life, what's going on, what's new. Let's talk about it. So until the next episode, care for yourself, care for your wealth. And if you want one of these awesome t-shirts that say that, head to tccarepackage.com today. I appreciate you. Your time is worth it. Let's coordinate. You gotta coordinate.